Hi, I'm Dave, and I did an iPad install in a 2012 WRX. I'd like to give a video update and kind of just a guided tour of the install and what I did and what apps I'm currently using. So when the iPad mini came out, I thought it would be a perfect size to fit in a car. A regular iPad is just, I think, a little too big, and these mini iPads, I think you can install into more cars because they're a little bit more smaller and compact, so a little bit more versatile for installing. I was always disappointed with the double DIN radios that were out there now. The user interface wasn't really that great, it usually wasn't that responsive, and the technology used in those were just pretty obsolete by today's standards, so I figured why not just stick by iPad mini in there. What I wanted to do is I wanted to use my iPad mini kind of as a computer and brains for everything. So the idea that I came up with is I still wanted to have the radio functionality, so I wanted to have the radio behind the iPad mini, and I still wanted the mini to be able to come out, and I wanted to still be able to charge. So in the WRX, the placement of the mini that I wanted to do required it to cover up some of the vents. There's also another video online from Soundman that did an iPad mini install in a WRX, but he had it kind of above the top lip of the radio bezel. I personally didn't like that because it wasn't as clean of an install, and it did not look as factory. So what I had to do is I had to fabricate a way to have it fit below that, which required some modifications of the vents. So as you can see, this is the custom mount that I created. What I used is the regular stock bezel, but what I had to do is this bar right here was up here, so I had to cut it and bring it down, and I also had to remove some of the fins for the vents so that would fit. And what I did is this piece right here is fiberglass, and what I had to do is I had to create a mold, and I fiberglassed around it to make it fit. The hardest part of this project was, I guess the most time consuming, was the actual body work on there. There's just so many creases and stuff to get into and make it smooth. And I still don't think it's perfect, but for my first time ever doing any kind of body work or any fiberglass work, I'm very happy with it. So again, as you can see, I have the radio kind of inset in here, and behind the radio there's just barely enough room for all the cables to fit. I did have to make a custom mount to set this single DIN radio back to make it fit. And for this mount, before I created it, I saw this video by Soundman Audio, and they used magnetic, some magnets in the top strip of here, kind of like how the smart cover uses. But what is really cool is my mount uses magnets, which kind of holds it in place on the top. Now there's a strip of magnets that I embedded in there while I was fiberglass that takes use of the smart cover magnets. Now it's only on the top and nothing on the bottom, which was my concern when I was doing this, is how well was it actually going to hold in there, because it only had that one set of magnets, and I was afraid that it might bump out or pop out if I hit the brakes or bump really hard. So basically how this goes in is I have the lightning port here and a lightning port right there, and you just stick it right in there. So the magnets hold it on the top here, and the lightning kind of holds it in the middle and the bottom. So this is definitely not going anywhere. And to take the iPad out, all you do is you pull out this first, then you just slide it out. There is plenty enough give to go back and forth, but I wouldn't go too far, as it might kind of break this lightning connector. The glare on this isn't actually that bad. Some people might want to stick an anti-glare screen on here. I personally don't. I mean, once you're in an application, it's not that bad. The only glare that I get from looking from my angle is the rear passenger window. Other than that, it doesn't bother me one bit. So what I'll show you now is kind of some of the apps that I use and programs that I use on a daily basis. And everything that's, all the audio gets streamed via Bluetooth from the iPad mini to the radio. And I do retain all my steering wheel functions. I have a steering wheel controller in there as well, but I can change the track and the volume with my steering wheel controller. The app that I use the most is Waze. You can basically use any navigation app out there, but I personally like Waze the best, as it is more of a social navigation where people can input if they see a cop or if there's different traffic things. But I think any navigation app is 100 times better than what's built into a double DIN or just maybe even a factory radio. Another app that I use is called iTunes. Basically, the stock app for music on the Mini was not really that great for an actual, while you're driving and you want to try to change some things. So, and it's just more than a radio application. You can have the time, you can have your location with the map, and there's different settings with that. You also have a speedometer, and you can have different G-force meters. You have also a weather app, but the heart of it is basically the music section here. You can choose by song, artist, album. And it's very, very intuitive. To start or stop, you just double tap. To go to the next song, you can just swipe to the right, or you can swipe to the left. And double tap to stop and start. And again, for all the audio here, I have it streaming via Bluetooth. And what I have it is I have the volume on the iPad all the way up, and I just control the volume by the radio, which then I can use my steering wheel controls. Another program that I use is called Dash Command. It uses the port where you plug in the access port, and I have a wireless dongle that connects the car information to the iPad. Then the dash command can read all this information that the car has. You have a bunch of different features on here. One is the dashboard, where you can see certain information that you would like the RPM, speed, and anything else you want. It's pretty responsive. There's probably about a half a second delay. I was trying some other skins, and for some reason the other skins don't work for me. It's really nice because you can, if you're on a trip, you can see what your fuel range is and what you're getting for your gas mileage. You also get a bunch of other stats. You also can get some other information as well. It's pretty comprehensive of what you get. Another cool thing is the skid pad, which measures the G-forces. There also is a racetrack feature, which is very cool if you're going to be tracking your car. Another app that I haven't tried out is Harry's Lap Timer, which I think would probably be a little better for that, but I'm not exactly sure, and I really haven't used this feature much. And you get an inclinometer if you want as well. And if you do have any error codes pop up, you can actually use this application to see what those codes are and clear them if you needed. Another app that I use is Galileo. I've been trying to look for a navigation app of where you can import your specific route that, say, you create on Google Maps of some really cool windy and twisty roads that you want to take. So Galileo can import the KML or KLM files and show you the route that you have planned. The only thing that sucks is there is no voice navigation, so you have to look or keep looking down to make sure you're on the right path. I've been trying to find other navigation apps that can do this, but so far I have not found anything. That is all. I just wanted to give you a brief video overview of my iPad mini and my 2012 WRX.